Well, it's nobody in the game to get your game from on a simple fact that all the old heads in this game, they ain't fucking with young motherfuckers like us. And everybody else, they work for the majors. So if somebody go to do a deal somewhere, they gotta go get at the majors. And what happens is, you got the house niggas. So if you go to a major, if you go to Sony, if it's Universal, Universal owns Interscope, Universal owns Polygram, Universal owns A&M, Universal owns Def Jam, all that stuff. So Def Jam owns Rockefeller. So Universal owns Rockefeller. Universal owns everybody. So if you get a guy that works for Universal and he's black, and Universal say, okay, I'm gonna give them $1, hypothetically speaking, their whole thing gonna be is this: they only gonna give you a quarter, but I can get you 30 cents. So when they go to their boss, they can say, look, boss, you was gonna give him $1, I got this nigga for 30 cents. So that keep them a job a little longer. So there's nobody in this business you can really deal with or fuck with to try to get no game from. Because I tell everybody all the time, own your masters, own your catalog. Can't none of these niggas say they own their masters in their catalog. If they do, they lying to you. Or they gonna say they own some of it, or they gonna buy it back. All that is bullshit. Not knocking Russell or nothing, but they had an interview on Russell on Def Jam. And they was like, well, on the whole Def Jam shit, on Russell shit, and Def Jam shit, they showed mostly Run DMC. Run DMC was on Profile, which is heirs to own their masters now. Rick Rubin and Russell was partners. Now Leo Cohen and Russell is partners. But Universal owns Def Jam. So my whole thing is, I don't care how hard it might be, what kind of shit I gotta go through, I'm gonna keep this shit gangster, I'm gonna keep this shit ghetto, I'm gonna keep this shit independent. So that way, when my artists wanna say, fuck this person, fuck this, fuck that, suck my dick, they can say it. It's not censored. So that's what we gotta be able to do. One of the things I did was this. I started reading contracts. When I started reading contracts, I was seeing contracts. When Dre had a contract with Ruthless, he was making 1 point as a producer. But that 1 point was cross-collateralized every person on that label. So if JJ Fad was in a hole, or Easy was in a hole, or NWA was in a hole from touring, they'd take his money. And 1 point was like back in Chuck Berry days. You know what I mean? 2 points is back in Chuck Berry days. So I'm saying, how the fuck is, this the early 90s, 89, 90, and they getting the same points as Chuck Berry? Something wrong with that motherfucker problem. So I got him out of his shit. And then the thing about it is this, that because you free a slave, don't mean he's not gonna run back to master, get his ass up and say, I wanna be a slave again. Half of these motherfuckers just do that. They'll talk all that shit. I don't knock Prince. Prince will write slave on his face and say, I ain't fucking with him. But who Prince back fucking with? So, if you're gonna say something, mean what you say what you mean. Or don't say shit at all. So my whole thing was, I don't fit in the circle of a lot of industry shit. I say half these motherfuckers is gay crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like their whole thing is, their way of living, their way of thinking is about them. My thing is about the ghetto. I don't give a fuck how much shit I go through the ghetto, I'm still gonna fuck with the ghetto. And one thing about my artists, they gotta keep that shit straight, or I ain't fucking with them.